So I used to try to do this with like pieces of wood, but especially because I'm doing the Desmos trial, this is way more effective to let you see. If you imagine that these are two like whatever straight objects you want to think about, rulers or like 2x4s or whatever, and I rotate one of them. What is happening with the blue angles that are opposite to each other, or the white angles that are opposite to each other? And we haven't used random cards enough this week. Carolina, what are you noticing? They're always the same? Like always, always? Yeah, like the blue, as I make my blue angle bigger, both blue angles are getting bigger because this is like a pivot point. Right? You guys know what a pivot is, right? Like in basketball, when you pivot, you gotta plant one foot, and you can only turn on that foot, and like that's gotta stay there. It's because this is working as our pivot point, and as we make the blue angle bigger, the other blue angle gets bigger. And as the blue angle is getting bigger, what's happening with the white angle? It's getting smaller because what is happening with the other straight line? Well, it's still a straight line, right? And what did we say about a straight angle yesterday? How many degrees are in a straight angle? 180. So guys, this is actually always vertical angles will be equal. So while we're still stuck on that slide, let's look at our paper. Now, if you can't draw straight lines right away, ruler might help you. It's in the back of the room, but you don't have to get one because there's one straight line drawn for you on your paper. You can use this straight line. Let's be smart and work smarter, not harder. So if I want to draw an example of vertical angles, I can just draw another straight line. And then I can label this angle and this angle would be equal to each other. But also what that means is this angle, my blue angle now, and this angle would also be equal to each other. So what you might want to make a note here of is that vertical angles are always equal. And in math, we actually call that congruent. If you want the fancy word. Oh yeah, I drug your Desmos over here. And then chat with a neighbor about what we see in 1.3 and see if you can make an estimate about A and B that would add up to what we would be looking for. Chat with a neighbor. Guys, you could write in things that you know. What do we know from that little square? Yeah, I know. Moon lost yesterday's no. Grab a new one.
Yeah, that's one called.
And then all three of those angles are sitting on top. So we know that the three are together. We already know. What do we know about A, B?
You kind of look the same. It is light. Kind of like the thing.
They don't look very dark.
Wait a minute.
Zane, what did you guys say, or what were your first thoughts as you started talking about? And guys, I keep doing this, and I don't know why. It's very silly. I prep my lesson in here, and then I'm working on the paper, and I don't know why. All right, so Zane, what'd you guys start talking about?
So immediately notice that there's a 180 angle.
Immediately, we recognize that this is 180 because it is a straight angle. What else do we immediately recognize? Except I left my cards over here. Zeke, what else do we recognize? That's how we can explain. There's a right angle here. This, we said yesterday, that little box codes us that that's a right angle. Donna, what else can we, what else do we know then? If we know the whole thing is 180, and we know this part is 90, Donna said do 180 minus the 90, and what we now know is A and B together have to make the rest of what we need. What's the rest of what we need? Another 90. Now, do A and B look equal to each other? No. Sophia, you just got back, so you can skip if you want to, but what's your feeling about A? Okay, it's bigger than B, so give me a guess at how big you think it is. If they were, okay, hold on, if they were equal to each other, if they looked equal, they would each be 45.
I think A is like maybe 55.
Sure, so if we make A 55, if we say that's what we think it is, how big would B be? Just 30? 35, because they need to add up to not. Does 55 and 35 add up to 90?
Yeah.
Yes. Jane?
Well, can you also do 60 and then 30?
Sure, you could do 60 and 30 if you feel like this one looks like 60. Now, what tool could we use if we actually want to measure the angle? I saw on your face when you were like, oh, wait, no, I forget. As opposed to an amateur tractor, they've leveled up to pro. It's a terrible. You guys heard the joke about the farmer, right? Or the award that he won an award for outstanding in his field. All right, so a protractor is what we could use if we cared to measure the angle. But let's keep going in this Desmos and see if we can use that knowledge. So everybody move on to slide 4 now. Like everybody move on into slide 4. We need to select all pairs of vertical angles. But vertical angles have to be like opposite each other and equal. So like even though D and A are opposite each other, do D and A even look close to equal? No. Y'all gotta quit leaving my room and leaving the door open. Like, come on, guys. If I can hear it from way over here, everybody in this room can hear the noise coming in. Well, we haven't checked today, though. But yes, you are only winning by 1. Somebody at your table group, go back to the bins, or if you have them with you, totally fine. Get 2 different colors of highlighters. Get 2 different colors of highlighters.
Put that back. Put that back. We have
You need at least 2 colors that you could like swap with each other. Guys, in your head, or literally on the paper, or like on the Desmos or whatever, you need to be color coding things to make your life easier. Because if you know every looks the same as every straight line that is blocked. Like, I need to give these lines colors. So if I make one of them, now hold up, 3, you're gonna immediately be like, wait, why did you only get 2? If I make this line green, and I make this line blue, I can leave the other line black because or you could code that also. So if you wanted to use a third color, I could maybe make this line yellow. When you're looking for vertical angles, we need to be using the same 2 lines. So on your paper, I want you to turn to your neighbor and discuss from your paper what's vertical to what. Right? Is F vertical to G? Hint, it's not. They're next to each other. Is F vertical to G? And I need to send attendance. So try to answer 2.1 and 2.2 on your paper there. I gotta send attendance before I totally forget. Ooh, no Emory today?
Wait, maybe not real.
No Ashley. All right, I think that's it, right? We're just missing Emory and Ashley. Devin, can you give me a vertical pair here? So F uses what color of lines up here? Green and yellow. H uses what color of lines? Green and yellow. Are they opposite each other? Are they equal to each other? Yeah, F and H are vertical. So we could say angle F. Hey guys, if you want to write this out like the actual mathy way that we need to start getting familiar with. This is the math symbol for congruent. It really means equal, but a bit more exact than equal. We use it in geometry to say, hey, those are exactly the same. Because there's also similar. We don't really use that for angles, we use that for shapes. But that symbol means congruent. Devin, can you give me that was Devin. Bethany, can you give me another vertical set, even if one of them maybe doesn't have a name? G and 42, because G up here uses the Michigan colors, blue and yellow, and 42 also uses my blue and yellow. If we check, they're opposite to each other, so angle G would be equal and congruent, if you want to be real mathy and make it congruent. Now, what about angle F? How could we figure out how big it is? I'm going to give you 30 more seconds in case your partners haven't chatted about that. I already called on you today, but you want to go again? All right, Zane, you want to talk us through? I know that wasn't 30 seconds, but I realized we have short time today because Friday.
So 42 and H together equals 90.
Pause. Do you see what Zane sees? That 42 and H together need to be 90 because if this is 90, then this has to be 90 to make a straight line. Questions? Continue.
And 42 plus H equals 90. And also 48 plus 42 equals 90.
So, Zane knows it, but if we didn't know it, we could subtract and then say, oh, okay, well, what am I left with? H equal to 48 degrees. Gotta get used to writing that degrees. You have the last 5 to work on con if you want. Yeah, we do need to check con, I know. Yeah, I passed most of them out the other day. I don't know if I have any more papers. Yeah, Bethany. Papers for you. As of yesterday, we were only, up by 1 percentage point. So, I'm not a monster. I know some of you might disagree, but I am not a monster. In 3A, they asked me, okay, so we're only separated by a percentage. Who would get the movie? Obviously the person, people who are higher up, that would be the obvious, but they're like, come on. If we're only, if we're that close. So, not a monster. If we end up at the end of this, which we don't have enough time, but it's like a week or a week and a half. I've got it written in my calendar. If we end up real close to the other class, there is a potential future where both classes can win the movie, right? That it's us versus Block 3, but I can't believe that we're a % away from each other right now. That's pretty wild. So, I mean, hopefully we end up more than a % away from them after we check it here in a minute. Hopefully. So they are at 24%, right, of ring 3. We, as of yesterday, were at 25. So, but, I will tell you, as soon as we checked this, somebody in this class was like, well, I just submitted something. After we checked this, I'm like, so technically this probably just went up. So technically they're probably winning right now, right? So, technically, if I hit check for technically this is an outdated percentage. But so is this. So, let's check. You guys think we'll close ring 3?
Yeah, maybe.
Here we go.
I'd say about 50%. Wait.
Yeah! Now what about ring 4? How far do you think? Alright, here we go. Did you do your homework?
I did. So much.
Keep going. A perfect ring. A perfect ring of progress. Alright, you still got 2 minutes. Could you submit something else in that 2 minutes? But if you already packed up, you're wasting this time. So good. I did not dance to this song. I will post the next con for next week so you can keep going. Next period. I'll take my computer over to our team meeting. But it is time to go to Creative Start. Have a wonderful Friday. We'll be recognizing 2 winners from this class later during forum. The time winner and the progress winner.
I did something. I literally just finished something.
Well, I'm not, just like I said to 3A, class is over. I'm not checking again. Class is over.
Just do it.
No, that's Nike.
Ow, I just hit.
Yeah.
I got those Nike